Thank you, Joseph. Hello and welcome to our service. We are the Rogue Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or RUF, in Ashland, Oregon. My name is Donna Barrett, and I'm a part of RUF because everyone is important. There are no exceptions. We are so happy to welcome you to our service, both online and in person. We want to especially thank the members of the stream team who are helping make the online service happen, and the members of the neighborhood team who welcome the on-site congregation. If you are a newcomer, we invite you to sign up for our mailing list on rvuuf.org. You will receive a weekly email that gives you all the information you need to make your decision about whether you'd like to join us on Sunday morning on-site or online. You will also learn about other great things going on at RUF. We're so glad to have you with us for this service, and we invite you to join us in our mission, embracing diversity, empowering connection, and engaging in the work. We begin each service by acknowledging that our building is built on land that began as the home of the Cow Creek Umpqua, Takelma, Shasta, and Lagawa people. We remind ourselves that indigenous people are part of our communities and continue to experience the effects of colonization. We are committed to fighting for the worth and dignity of indigenous people, both in our community and around the world. These services are a part of that work. Welcome, and thank you for being with us.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Alison Duren-Sutherland, and it is my joy to add my welcome to Donna's. I am a Unitarian Universalist minister, but I am not the minister of this congregation. Reverend Sean needed to travel this week for his mother's memorial service. And I would like us all to just take a moment and send a little bit of extra love and care out to Reverend Sean in this time of grief. Thank you, friends. We begin our service with the lighting of the flaming chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. These words this morning come from Carolyn McDade and Lucille Schock Longview, the creators of the UU Water Ceremony. They write, "Water is more than simply a metaphor. It is elemental and primary, calling forth feelings of awe and reverence." Coming back to this service again, we see in it a deeper meaning than we had been aware of earlier, acknowledging that the ocean is considered by many to be the place from which all life on our planet came. It is the womb of life. And that amniotic waters surround each of us prenatally. We now realize that the first water ceremony was for us a new story of creation.
Please join me in singing our first hymn this morning, your gray hymnal, number 157. Please rise as you're able and comfortable. Because so many of us do not know this tune, Joseph is going to play it all the way through once for us, and then we'll all sing together.
Good morning. I am Kate Cleland Sipfley, here with Roger Howe, who will light the candle. We are both members of Ruth's anti-racism study group. There we experience much learning and sharing about racial biases in our society. And much of that learning takes place between our meetings as well as we study and ponder. I have learned that I simply couldn't see many of the institutional biases that impact non-white people every day, because those biases do not hinder or endanger me as I go about my normal routines. When I was a young driver in the 70s, I was pulled over by a police officer for speeding in a small town in upstate New York, actually outside the town. He asked me repeatedly if I was married. I found the question irrelevant because I owned that car. I had a license. I could prove all that. So I asked him why he needed to know. I didn't get a satisfactory answer, and I never answered his question. And I drove away with a speeding ticket, safely. And at the time, I wasn't thinking about how differently that interaction might have gone for a person of color. And not just in upstate New York, but just about anywhere in the country. And sadly, it's still that way now. It's still that way now. Something that's an inconvenience and an annoyance for me can be deadly for someone else, especially if it escalates. So, in honor of how much work needs to be done, we light this candle and hope that some of you will want to join our group.
It has become our practice to light a candle each week for peace. We take this moment to call to mind our commitment to peace of mind, peace in our homes, peace in our communities, and peace in the world. Today's words are from Wangari Maathai, the first African woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize. She says, "When resources are degraded, we start competing for them, whether it is at the local level in Kenya, where we had tribal clashes over land and water, or at the global level, where we are fighting over water, oil, and minerals." So one way to promote peace is to promote sustainable management and equitable distribution of resources.
So this is the time in the service when we share a story. And we're actually going to make the story today. And I'd like to invite anyone who is young or young at heart to come forward and join me. You are going to be good examples in how to share this story with the rest of the group. So if anyone is willing to come on down, oh look, I planted one. This is my child. Thank you, Francis. Oh, and a young at heart. Thank you, Alex. All right. I'm sorry, forgive me. So today at church, what we're talking about is how each one of us is like a drop of water. And when we think about a rainstorm, when all those drops fall, they're not just a bunch of different drops on the ground. They turn into one thing, one pond, one fountain, one puddle of water. And that's what we're talking about today, is how all of us come together and make one thing, one community. And so we're all together going to make a rainstorm. Okay? And I'm gonna ask Donna to come up and help me because I gotta hold this mic. So we're gonna go through how do you make a rainstorm? And then I'm gonna put this mic down and we'll all do it together. All right? So when it starts to rain, at first it's very quiet. Just a little sprinkle, like rubbing your hands together. Can we all do that? Nice. And then the rain gets a little harder and maybe it's a little snap. Now this one might be hard for some people. Some people maybe can't snap. Keep rubbing your hands together if you can't snap. You do what works for you, okay? And then as the rain gets a little harder, it starts to be claps. Those are some big splashes of rain coming now, yes. And then as it gets even heavier, pats on our legs. Oh my goodness, and maybe there's a little bit of thunder. All right, thank you, very good. So we'll do all those and then we'll go from that big rainstorm back down until the rainstorm stops. And we need all of you to be part of this rainstorm, otherwise it will not be as good a rainstorm, okay? So please get ready to be drops in our rainstorm. A beautiful rainstorm. Thank you so much for being drops in this beloved community. And now we will sing our children out to their classroom with a sung blessing.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your minds be truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hearts do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace. It's fine.
Thank you for your patience with the screen. So this is a week of ritual in this community. And this that we're about to do right now is actually a ritual that we do every single week. And it's the offering ritual. It's more than just a collection. We are pooling our money together. Right? Drops in one vessel. And by pooling our resources, we support the work and the mission of this congregation. Gifts made today are put to work immediately to sustain our congregation and the work we do beyond our walls in the wider community. If you are joining us online, please feel free to mail a gift to 87 4th Street, Ashland, Oregon, 97520. You can also give online by visiting tinyurl.com/roofoffering and follow the instructions there. To give by text, text $sign and the amount you'd like to donate to 541-229-4229. And if you need support, please get in touch with our community by using the contact page on our website, roof.org. We will do our best to help you if you are in need. We will now gratefully receive the morning offering. For these gifts and all of the gifts that you bring to this beloved community, thank you.
Our reading today is by Mel Hoover and Rose Eddington. Water unites us. All water is one water, shape-shifting as it goes on in its unending cycle. The stream we gather by unites us with all the waters of the world, for all of life depends on water. That's why this common everyday element on which our very lives depend is sacred. In our thankfulness for water, let us remember to honor, cherish, and care for it, for our own lives, for all life touched by water, and for those who come after us.
Thank you all for coming here today to celebrate the Unitarian Universalist Water Ceremony, or water ritual, or water communion, has many different names. The first time this ritual was celebrated was the year I was born, in 1980, at the Women and Religion Convocation of Unitarian Universalists. I was actually a little surprised when I learned that something that is so much a part of my experience as a Unitarian Universalist only came to being within my own lifetime. Maybe that's the beauty of being a part of a living tradition that believes that wisdom continues to unfold. For those of you for whom this ceremony is new, and if it is new for you, you are not alone, okay? Multiple people have come to me today and said, I've never done this before. So if this ceremony is new, it involves the coming together of many individuals who each bring their own water to pour into our single vessel, where the waters become one. This ceremony was created by women, for women, and yet its reach and meaning have expanded beyond any one gender to become a ritual of community and coming together for UUs across the country and around the world. Carolyn McDade and Lucille Shuck Longview, who created the ceremony, felt that this ritual, quote, spoke to our connectedness to one another, to the totality of life, and to our place on this planet, end quote. I couldn't agree more. That 1980 convocation included women from all across the continent, and so one focus of that first water ceremony was the distance from which each of these waters had come to join together in one vessel. As we've continued the water ceremony as a ritual of coming together at the end of summer, which is often associated with vacations, there has been a tendency for us to share our waters as a kind of travel log. I bring these waters from the Atlantic Ocean, where I spent a month on Cape Cod. I bring these waters from the canals of Venice. And truly, it is beautiful to see how we as a community can travel all around the world and still come back to this sanctuary, this vessel that holds us together. However, this aspect of the water ceremony has at times made it feel unwelcoming for those who weren't able to afford to travel somewhere exciting to get their water. Does my water still belong here if I only brought it from my own garden hose, my own kitchen sink? Do I belong here if I don't have the resources to gather water from continents away? I want to answer that question unequivocally today. Your waters belong. Whether you brought them with you from afar or from home, or whether you didn't bring any water at all and you choose to pour from the pitchers of water we have available for you up here. Today, you will be given a chance to share your waters. But I want to encourage you to share not only where they came from, if that feels important to you, but especially the meaning behind those waters, or even the intention that you pour into this community as you pour your waters into our shared vessel. We are a faith that proclaims our acceptance of difference, different beliefs, different demographics, different people, all choosing to come together in support of the Unitarian Universalist principles and the values that we hold dear, values of pluralism, transformation, justice, equity, interdependence, and at the center of all these values, love. If you share these values, bring us your waters. Its symbolism and your intention as a drop in the vessel of this beloved community. We know we are more together than the sum of our parts, and each drop makes us more. You are welcome. You belong. Now, I want to read you the Unitarian Universalist principles as they were written the year the water ceremony began, the year I was born. 1, to strengthen one another in a free and disciplined search for truth as the foundation of our religious fellowship. 2, to cherish and spread the universal truths taught by the great prophets and teachers of humanity in every age and tradition, immemorially summarized in the Judeo-Christian tradition as love to God and love to man. To affirm, defend, and promote the supreme worth of every human personality, the dignity of man, and the use of the democratic method in human relationships. 4, to implement our vision of one world by striving for world community founded on the ideals of brotherhood, justice, and peace. 5, to serve the needs of member churches and fellowships, to organize new churches and fellowships, and to extend and strengthen liberal religion. 6, to encourage cooperation with men of goodwill in every land. Friends, if the principles I just read to you had still been our principles when I first entered a UU church, I would not have become a Unitarian Universalist. Though they were a bold articulation of liberal religion in 1961 when they were adopted, I do not see myself or the fullness of my faith reflected in those words. They do not make me feel that I belong. The year before it became the origin of the water ceremony, the Women and Religion Continental Convocation had included a workshop titled The UUA Principles. Do they affirm us as women? Participants in the workshop were clear in their answer. No, they did not. In 1981, from these women, a proposal to revise the principles and remove sexist language was put forward. But instead of adopting that new language, a committee was set up to study the issue and report back to the UUA the next year. Questionnaires were sent out to congregations and individuals about their faith and relationship with the principles. The data from the questionnaires was taken up by the committee as the starting point of drafting proposed language, which was discussed and revised at the 1982 General Assembly and provided to congregations for discussion in 1983. The language was passed for the first time in 1984 at the General Assembly, and as required by UUA bylaws, it was passed a second time in 1985, incorporating amendments brought to the floor by folks who weren't a part of the study committee to become more or less the principles that you'll find abbreviated in our wall banners, in the beginning of your hymnal, on a plaque outside in the hall. Those principles pretty much grew out of that movement in the 80s, that study. And if you are paying attention to the process that the UUA, the Unitarian Universalist Association, is going through right now to revise our current principles, you'll see a lot of similarities. Study, questionnaires, conversations, drafts and revisions, amendments, and votes over a period of years. The process that we followed to create the principles as they are today has informed the process we're following as we create the principles of the future. Yes, after nearly 40 years, if we are to be the living tradition that we proclaim we are, we need to once again reconsider the words we use to speak about who we are, centering the love that is at the heart of our faith, at the heart of this community. Because today, a child has been born who will come to Unitarian Universalism only because we were able to articulate who we were more clearly, claiming the spiritual foundation of love and allowing that child to know that they belong. In 1980, that child was me. And though I may be sad to see the principles and sources that brought me to this faith change, even more, I will rejoice for those who will come after us, who will add their drops to this vessel, making greater the sum of the parts that we together are greater than. And though we may be wary of change, Still, we must never stop growing, widening our welcome until we need a bigger vessel to hold all the waters that each one brings to the beloved community of Unitarian Universalism. Reverend Walter Jones, who served on that committee in the early 80s that drafted our current principles, said of that process, quote, "We wanted to say to everyone, you belong," end quote. That desire informs the revision of our principles that is underway today, and it is reflected in the symbolism of the water ceremony. Drops of water turn the mill, singly none. We can only build the world we dream about together with those who also wish to see it built, and we must help them find us with our words, our deeds, and our rituals. So now let us prepare to share in this ritual of the water ceremony. Let us tell a new story of creation, the creation of this beloved community anew in this moment. If you are a newcomer this morning, you too are a drop of the waters in this beloved community today, and you are welcome to participate in this ritual. Those in the sanctuary are invited, when the time comes, to come forward down these side aisles. Then you'll come up one at a time to the microphones. We'll alternate between folks on either side of the sanctuary. When you stand at the mic, you can share your name, you can share where your waters came from, but I hope you will share what they mean to you, what you pour into this vessel of beloved community. And if you do not wish to speak at all, you may come forward and pour your waters regardless. We can do this ritual in whatever way works for you. So as you prepare to share, try to distill your message into just a few sentences. Think haiku rather than sonnet, okay? If you need the ritual to come to you, rather than coming forward yourself, once the folks at the mic are pretty much done, raise your hand, and I will come to you with a hand mic, and Donna will symbolically pour your water into the vessel at the front of the sanctuary. If you want to do this ritual, we want you to do it with us, okay? So if you can't come forward, don't be shy about raising your hand when the time comes. Your drops matter. Finally, after we all have shared here in the sanctuary and those joining us from home, we will receive a blessing on our commingled waters, the Algonquin water song. And though it is addressed to women, men, I want you to encourage you to find yourself in there too, as women had to do for so long in a faith that centered men. And for those of every gender, the creators of the Algonquin water song share that it is incumbent upon all of us to protect the sacred waters for the future, even though they speak explicitly about women. So when the time comes, whatever your gender, please feel free to lift your voices and sing the water song today and every day. The words are in your order of service, and they translate to, "Water is the lifeblood of our Mother Earth. Water is the lifeblood of our own bodies." So, Donna and I will begin to give folks a chance to come forward and gather their thoughts. Then I'll encourage you, again, come up the side aisles, exit down the middle, share at the mics, and please use the mic so that everyone can hear your share, even the folks at home, and head back to your seats through the center. I will ring the gong to begin and to end our ritual. I bring these waters from my garden hose that I use every morning in the summer to water my flowers and my vegetables, and also with a few drops from the Unitarian Universalists of Grants Pass, where I led this water ceremony last month. So they are here with us in these waters.
Hi, as you know, I'm Donna. I did not bring water, but we visited our son and grandson in Denver, and we took this trail, concrete trail, near Clear Creek. What I want to say is that my water represents connection.
Hi, we're Mary and Morty, and this water actually comes from my irrigation system, which has not been working until one of the members of my men's group, John Lim, came and fixed it for me, so now I can actually get water from my irrigation system.
Yay.
Yay.
And I'm Alan, and this is water that I carry when I go on walks with my 1-year-old puppy, Momo, and feed to her. And she is so active and energetic that she always reminds my wife, Carol, who's here, and myself of the spark of life that we all have, the gift of life that we all have, no matter what troubles we have in our life. We have that gift of life.
Hi, my name is Wendy, and like Morty and others, the water comes from my irrigation system, which works beautifully, and my garden brings me a lot of joy.
My name's Dolores, and this water represents creek water in Linden, Washington. I went up to Linden for my 67th high school reunion and spent a week with my cousin Louise. Louise was recently killed in a car accident. Her funeral was last Friday. So this represents my gratitude for my relationship with Louise and my grief at her loss.
Hi, I'm Daniel. The water I'm going to pour from the communal water represents the sea ice that I could see at Prudhoe Bay in 1975, but which has receded hundreds of miles, and I worry where polar bears are going to raise their children.
I'm Merrick, and my water comes from my koi pond, which is something that I didn't ever think I would have. But the koi, watching them swim, brings me great joy.
My name is Bill. This is water from a place that has become a special place for me in western Massachusetts. It was very dry here at the time, but they were receiving torrential rains, and the lake where this is drawn from flooded greatly, and I spent a good deal of time searching for the floating dock that got away.
My name is Karen. This is my husband, Bob. We're visiting today. The water we are bringing is from the North Oregon coast where we currently live, although we will be moving to Ashland and hope to join this church.
My name is Dan, and I'm going to pour from the communal water as a representation of the community that I hope to belong to, that will bring a more peaceful and joyful world to where we live.
I'm Rosalie. This water represents the well water from our cabin up on the Green Springs that our sons are diligently working to get in shape as a family gathering place.
I'm Cheryl, and I'm very new at this, but I loved the imagery, so I wanted to pour some water.
I am Patricia. We just had the anniversary of the Alameda fire, and this is from my rebuilt kitchen and my rebuilt house. It represents survival.
I'm Lila, and this is from my kitchen where I do a lot of cooking to help nourish myself and others.
My name is Kate. I will pour symbolic water representing the blessed rains that fell September 1st and enabled my drive home from the coast to be on Highway 199 along this beautiful Smith River.
My name is Sean, and this water comes from the hills of northern Italy, from the Terme Spring near San Pellegrino. And it represents for me fostering global understanding and connection amongst all people, all ethnicities, all ethnic backgrounds, and also an understanding of all generations, and to share and learn wisdom from each other in this time.
My name is Marika, and this water came from the state campground on Bullard's Beach on the Oregon coast. And it represented an escape from the smoke that we had that was so bad here a couple of weeks ago, and the gratitude that we were able to breathe when we were there. It also represents the fact that this water can fight these fires that creates our smoke. So that's that.
Hello, my name is Athena. This water simply comes from my kitchen where I am learning to nurture and nourish myself and my beautiful family.
My name is Inga, and this is also kitchen sink water, and it represents a multi-generational family. We moved this last year into a property with my stepdad in the back, and it's been really sweet seeing my kids and grandpa nurture each other, and it's all come together.
My name is David. This water comes from our mountains and comes from my sink that I'm really glad to have because not everybody has that.
My name's Courtney, and I'm going to pour from the communal water. It's been a really big year. I moved out of our rebuilt home and went back to my maiden name, and I've had the most incredibly joy-filled summer of just happiness and healing. And yesterday I went to Crater Lake and attempted to ride the rim, and it intended to get some water there, but I was so tired and sunburnt that I forgot. But Today is my birthday, and I'm really excited that we're going to sing Blue Boat Home, which is my favorite UU song.
My name is Jessica, and I just moved here from Gresham in the Portland area, and this water is the water from our move that we drank while we were moving, and it represents the joy and sadness of moving and my lesson of learning to be dependent on others.
My name is Alicia. I bring this water from the Mendenhall Glacier in Alaska.
My name is Sarah, and the water in this water bottle comes from my kitchen sink, where I refill my children's water bottles daily and beg them to drink enough water.
My name is Eleanor. My water comes from a tiny little stream, something I could jump across. Just in June, 4 of my children joined me in a 6 days in John Day. And this came from the base of the Cathedral Mountain. The stream was there, and 8,000 feet up there was Cathedral Mountain. It is absolutely a gorgeous place. The painted hills. I mean, 45 billion years ago, these came. But what took me there was the Chinese apothecary grocery store that was founded for the railroad workers from China. And since I spent my childhood in China, I wanted to see something that reminded me. And it did. So the water is part of that 6 days. Wonderful.
I'm Andrea, and I'll be pouring from the communal water. And I just heard a loving kindness meditation yesterday that says, may all beings be safe, may all beings be happy, may all beings be healthy, may all beings feel ease of life. And that's what this water represents to me.
Hi, I'm Roger, and as we were doing our rainstorm earlier, I got to thinking, which is something I'm cursed to do. And what I thought to myself was, it's so easy for us to visualize the cloud as a cloud of water vapor without differentiation, and the raindrops as with differentiation, and the puddle, again, without differentiation. And I wondered how proud of their individuality would those raindrops be? And isn't that a bit of the curse that we carry with us through our lives?
I'm Susan, and the water I have today is the same water that I give my precious dog and all the birds that are at our fountain. And we do need to represent all of living beings all over the world and how our water is precious to all of us.
My name is Tom. I don't have any water of my own, but water represents the relationship and bond I have with my niece, Regina. a bond which goes beyond religious and spiritual boundaries. Regina, who is here with me in church today.
My name is Peg, and I'm going to be using communal water. Tomorrow, it will be 5 years since I arrived on the West Coast. 4 of them were in California, and 1 of them here. And the water that I want to represent is my beloved Chesapeake Bay, which I really have to admit I miss. And I have a lot of family that are in that area. And I think of this time of year with a lot of memories and also of the sweat and tears that every teacher and student is going through right about now.
Good morning, my name's Vicki, and I will pour with the gratitude for the water that filled my rivers in Oregon this summer and gave me the 4 best days of the summer.
Friends, now is the time to lift your hand if you need the ceremony to come to you instead of coming forward. Give folks a moment. Is there anyone in the seats who wants the ceremony to come to you? All right. Oh.
I'm Jerry, and I want to pour some water that represents the water that I keep in the bird bath outside my house. It feeds all kinds of critters. Feeds them, it doesn't feed them, it nourishes them, wets them.
Is there anyone else who would like to come forward or have the ceremony come to them before we turn to our friends at home? All right. Come again, girl.
Hello, I'm Victoria Leo, and on behalf of Rick Baird and myself, this is water from the Willamette River to be here with you all.
One more in the service. Yes, one more in here.
When we receive wisdom from outside of our own
I didn't bring water, but I do have to water my garden every day so that the kale can stay alive that feeds me and my friends. Okay.
And now let us move on to the contributions from those who could not join us in person today, but who are still drops in the vessel of this beloved community.
Hello, I'm Victoria Leo, and on behalf of Rick Baird and myself, this is water from the Willamette River to join with you. I'm so glad to be here with you all.
When we receive wisdom from outside of our own tradition, we must be cautious. We ask ourselves, is this mine to practice? Is this mine to share? The Algonquin water song was made for all, and we are all invited to sing the water song.
granddaughter. The water can hear you. The water has memory.
Nibi,
Nibi,
Wabo,
Wabo,
Endayan,
Endayan.
Nibi, Wabo, Endayan, Aki Mismi, Nibi, Wabo, Heya, 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 Hey, Heya, 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 Ho. Water is the life's blood of our mother, the earth. Water is the lifeblood of our own body.
Nibi wabo endayen aki miskwi. Nibi wabo heya 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 hey heya 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 ho.
To continue to pass on the knowledge that needs to be given unto the other generations. You are the keeper of the water.
Nibi wabo endayen aki miskwi. Nibi wabo heya 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 hey heya 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 ho.
To make the change in this life condition that we're in, that great-grandchildren will stand up to this truth of what life is about and to live it in such an honorable way, the way ancestors came to this earth.
Nibi wabo endayen aki miskwi. Nibi wabo heya 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 hey heya 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 ho.
Each day when the sun rises, no matter how bad the day before might have been, there's a new chance for your hopes and dreams. And I say, Chimigwech, thank you for singing the water song.
Nibi wabo endayen aki miskwi. Nibi wabo heya 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 hey heya 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 ho.
Please join me now with your teal hymnal number 1064. We'll sing Blue Boat Home.
Far away from the rolling ocean.
Thank you, friends, for joining together today for this water ceremony. Our closing words come from Ralph Metzner. Spirit of great waters, of rain, rivers, lakes, and springs, O grandmother ocean, deep matrix, womb of all life, power to dissolve boundaries, to release holdings, power to taste and to feel, to clean and to heal, great blissful darkness of peace. We pray that we may be aligned with you, so that your powers may flow through us and be expressed by us for the good of this planet Earth and all living beings on it. May it be so. May we be the ones who make it so.
For we shall go out in joy, for we shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be, for we shall go out in joy, for we shall go out